Today's video is sponsored by AG1 by Athletic Greens. We're back at Ray Outfitted today and my van's going in the shop to get some much needed love. I want to make sure everything underneath is doing okay before we hit the road back to the west coast, and I also need a roof vent and I have a roof rack problem I'm hoping to solve today. Well, you know that thing, my roof rack, the part that always wants to fall off.
Guess where we are? We're back at Ray Outfitted.
These guys are no stranger to the channel. They have done a lot of work in my van, from cutting in my side window, my spare tire carrier, and the list just continues and continues. They've done a lot for me.
What he just said? It's like, what are we looking at in this piece today? I was just wondering the same thing. What the heck are we doing? There's a few things I would like you to look at, sir. Okay. One thing, please check out the ball joints, make sure everything's all good on the front side, because we beat this thing in the backcountry all the time. And I want to make sure that the ball joints that you installed last time we were here are still doing good. And can you take a look at my air line on my rear locker? Usually when I kick on my air locker, the air locker, you can hear the compressor go in and then it stops once there's pressure. Mm-hmm. It's kept going and kept going and kept going. And the compressor never stopped. So usually I think this, I don't know, maybe there's maybe there's a leak somewhere. A leak in the line somewhere. All right, so we just ran the locker. And I figured maybe it was just coming from the line, but you can actually hear the air noise coming from inside the locker. And Rainer figures there's probably a seal on the locker itself. And yeah, so he said you can hear the air coming out of here. So the air ideally would go into the locker and jam the gears to lock in both tires. And it seems like there's a leak inside of here, which is just getting out into the lock, into the differential itself, and then coming out of there. So when we get back to the island, I'll have to take it back to the diff guy and see if he can take a look at the locker. I've had bad experiences with lockers. So first I don't even know what the name of that brand is. That one went in and completely shattered the whole thing. First time I used it, the gears went to jam in and the plastic part in there just broke. So the guy from the differential place said to get the Air-B ones, that they're more reliable. And look where we are now.
Stuff like that's a bit frustrating sometimes, because when you buy things that are meant to be abused, like a rear locking differential that's meant to be used in the backcountry, you just expect that it would work every time. Let's dive into the sponsor of today's video, and that's Athletic Greens. AG1 is a nutritional drink that simplifies my daily health routine. 8 ounces of water, 1 scoop, shake it up, and you're done. That's it. Boom. Daily multivitamin. Done. Daily multi-mineral. Boom, right in here. I use AG1 because my gut health became super important to me, and 1 scoop of this has 7.2 billion probiotics that help bolster my body's digestive system and keeps my gut health good. And it tastes good. I wouldn't steer you wrong, I'm serious. Because anytime you go drink one of those greens drinks, you're like, oh, it's gonna taste like hay. Not this one. It actually tastes good. It has 75 different ingredients, including vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and it's also your daily greens blend too. And it's 1 scoop effortless. It was so easy to make this just a daily habit. Go to athleticgreens.com/Vancity Vanlife to get started on your order. And for my community, they're going to throw in 5 travel packs and also a 1-year supply of vitamin D3 with K2 with your first order. Okay, back to today's video.
We've taken all the load off the ball joints to see if there's any movement in them. Doesn't feel okay.
So last time he did that one on that side, you could just see it just jiggling like crazy. So the last time he did that one, you could just see the movement and stuff right here on the bottom. We got a little loose light going on here, guys. That's what happens when you take things out and you beat on it in the backcountry. After a while, bolts start to come loose, things kind of get loose. That's why it's good in a scenario like this sometimes to come in when you have access to a hoist and have everything kind of looked at, just to make sure all the suspension is tight and everything is all good. Rainer just checked the wheel bearings. This one on this side was a little bit loose, so we kind of tightened it. But otherwise, everything looks good. The ball joints and stuff look tight. All my suspension so far looks pretty good. Huh? Look how tight that baby is now. Oh, this one's good too. And my light bar is not lighting up. You guys have been watching my van fall apart for the last few months. From my dash cluster and everything going, and my gas tank leak, and it's just been a cluster of, you know, no pun intended. So in here, sir, all these work, all work, except for that one. And I don't know, I pulled this out, checked it, all the wires were on there. Seems like everything else here has got power. But that one. So I'm thinking maybe it's the switch. This is where Rainer gets to see my electrical work, and then all of a sudden I get in trouble. As Rainer's got dead silence, he's like, I know. He hasn't complained about my electrical yet. I'm winning. My camera's running. It's okay, bash me if you need to.
Where is your fuse for?
The whole fuse should be for the entire thing.
We've got multiple lines coming in. This guy here. This guy is this guy. Swoops there. Which also because this power, that's out to your light, and this is your in, which is that one, which is that one.
I'm pretty sure I left all the front lights, or maybe, I don't remember. Ba-bum. Can you imagine that, Rainer? Can you imagine if it was just a fuse, Rainer?
Yeah,
Can
if
you
it's only just a fuse.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So right back here, I installed this here on the top. So I have a fuse block down here for my home, and there's a fuse block up here I used. When I installed all the new lights on the front, I needed extra places to put things with fuses, and I also put the light bar on here, and the light bar just stopped working, and I never thought to look back and find out if the fuse was gone. It was missing. There was no fuse in it. I don't know how it came out. We did also move these curtains out, and who knows? We've had some things going, like this panel here we had to pull out. Maybe it just got tapped at that time. Thanks, Rainer, for changing my fuse.
No problem.
How silly is that? How bad was my electrical, Rainer?
Not the worst I've seen.
Nice. You guys want to troubleshoot something with me? So these keep popping off my gutters. And every time I get annoyed with it, I just want to drive screws right through the bottom, which I know is probably a problem because it's going to wreck I don't want to drill into the gutter. Come on, that's the seal to the roof. So I had a thought today. My thought was, if we get these in the position, you have to take a look from above. If we drive drill a hole through it, drive a nut through it just to hold that thing on there, because what's happening is this is on a rocker, right? That rocks out and pops off there, and it pops off all the time. When I came off the backcountry the other day, these were just about out. Like they just pop right out. So I'm thinking if we can put a bolt through the plastic in the back and the plastic in the front and just keep these two pieces together. Taking a better look at this, there is a little bolt up top here that's round, so it does rock, allowing this to rock out. So on the bottom here, these two bolts that came with the roof rack system, when you screw them in too tight, it'll pop it off. So you just screw it on the right amount of tightness and it stays locked. But the problem is, I'm not sure if Rhino Rack built these things for the abuse that I put my van through, so these get popped off. It could be from the stuff that's in there, but the front one also gets rocked off too. So what Rainer did is put a bolt all the way through it, goes all the way through the back, locking this thing together. So now it doesn't have the means to rock outwards because it'll bolt this plate into that plate. All right, look at that. See, look at this. Just a screwdriver pops right off. You see what I mean? A couple rocks in the backcountry and that thing was like flying off. If you missed that video, go back and find it on my channel. That whole 4-bar rack system on the back all came off. My rooftop carrier was this close of being on the hood of Emmy's van. If it wasn't for Emmy honking her horn, it probably would have been, because I was having the time of my life that day, bombing around with no cares of anything else, because the last thing I would have thought is that my roof rack would fall off. So, Rhino Rack, if you're watching this, you may want to think about redoing that system so us guys that are out there doing things off-road, your systems will stay on our roof, because that really honestly sucks, because I ended up damaging the new coating that's on my van, the hot polyurethane stuff. I damaged it when that thing fell off. Look at that as we go down, bolt, bolt. Look at that. Whoo-wee. It kind of like looks like it actually belongs there. Gives it a nice, like, really good, like, industrial tough look, and I'm stoked because I don't think those are gonna come off again.
Taking the backcountry out of the equation, these things even rock themselves loose on a rough highway. We have hit some really nasty highway roads around here where they were just like cracked and the potholes and uneven pavement for hundreds of kilometers. It even just that regular highway has rocked some of these things loose that I gotta walk around, tap them with a hammer every couple of days to make sure that they're locked underneath the gutter. This one bolt on each end might change everything.
I haven't seen that light work in a very, 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 very long time. That picture right there was taken a very long time ago. I really didn't have a whole lot of things going on in my van at the time. I think at that time I just had like a fresh build on the inside. There was no lift kit on it, no big, huge, elaborate roof rack system or anything. That's when Ray Outfitted installed all of my solar and electrical stuff in a gravel parking lot in Abbotsford. Hey, I didn't have solar panels then, did I?
No, but this we did all the mounting, and then another day in a Vancouver parking lot, we did the solar mounts. At first you were going to do them yourself after we did this.
Yeah.
And one of your subscribers reached out and said, don't let Chrome do that by himself. So we messaged you being like, we got to meet up. We got to install your solar panels. So we did it in the pouring rain. Your and Rainer's hands were like frozen red.
I remember that day.
Stitches. Yeah. I
remember that day. My subscribers are pretty smart when they're like, don't let him do it. He's going to burn his van down for sure. Bro, are you serious? Chrissy, that's my shoe, buddy. Hey. Chrissy, you're supposed to show the sweet side of you. It's YouTube, buddy. Isn't that your true colors are starting to come up?
Thermostat control.
I think it's the same one I've got. Let's do that one.
There.
Yeah. Look at that all fancy white. Look at that blade. Guys, take note on how clean that is in there. You wait till you see mine when it comes out. It's disgusting. Look at that fancy schmancy thing. So the cool thing about replacing a roof vent when you have one is once it's been cut in and installed, you don't need to replace the whole cutting in the roof thing because it's already there. All you need to do is unscrew this from the mounts and pop the new one in and rewire it and you're good to go. That roof vent on my van has been in there I installed that one myself, and that video is actually on my channel, on a very big sloped hill, me on the roof of my van with a jigsaw. It was sketchy, but I did it on my own. It's been in there for probably a little over 4 years now, maybe. And yeah, it was just not like in the last year where it started to fail a little bit. Like all the speeds and stuff didn't work, and I've had a little bit of like warnings that would pop up once in a while, and I'd have to go pull the fuse and reset the fuse in order for it to kind of reset, I guess, itself, and it would work again for a little while. It's been nothing but like chronic little problems, and they're not that expensive. So at that point, you might as well just fix it and replace it. That way I can actually pull air in. And being that it's still summertime, having that extra airflow is way worth it, because right now the only setting that works is low. That sucks. So now I got what, 10 speeds now in and out.
Yep.
And it's the same fan that I had in there. So they did have other ones in stock here, like the 7500K, which is the fancy one. Like you hit the on button on the remote and it opens up on its own without me having to turn the little cranky dial. But because I always leave my vent open like 99% of my time, for me to have a manual one, automatic one that opens doesn't make sense to me. I like leaving it open all the time because it just gives me constant airflow. Whether the fan's on or not, that constant airflow from the wind makes a difference. Like if it has a windy night, it's just letting in fresh air all the time. So I enjoy just leaving mine open. And these ones here, because the way the top is on it, it doesn't ever let water in. There's been very seldom times you get a really bad storm where it'll splash water up in it, but that's super rare. Look at that, baby! And I didn't even have to clean it. Oh, you guys want to see what was in my roof? Are you guys sure you really want to see this? Look at this grossness. That's my roof vent. Look at it. It's just in there. It's like it's deep in there. It's so disgusting. I'm embarrassed that I just showed you guys that. Hey, wait, did I hear more than one beep go up? Normally it's just beep, that's it. Beep, that's it. More than one beep?
100%.
Whoo, hear that baby howl. Oh yeah, look at that. So awesome. That was the only speed it was on before right there. That's it. Can you even hear that? No. Now I've got... Oh, bring it on, summertime. Bring it on. Thanks, Rainer.
Feels really good to pull out of the shop here today with peace of mind. To know that we have a 4,000 kilometer trek back to where we plan on spending our winter season, and that all my front suspension, ball joints, and everything is all good. We have more ventilation today with the new roof vent, and I know my roof rack system will probably stay on my van the whole drive back. That is awesome.
I can't believe that light bar was just simply a fuse. These are nice and tight now, pointing exactly where they need. I found before that they were pointing way too far into the ditch. And I just wanna, like pretty much what I got those ones set up for, I have these ones set up this way so I can see off to the road side. So if there's any animals or anything like that on the trail, I can notice them off that way. Like that guy right there. Oh, this one's got a short in it. I think we got a light out. I think we got a problem with one of those lights. And back here we got the one on my carrier, which hasn't worked in a very, very long time, which is pretty great. Thanks, Rainer. Having it all lit up back here is great because when my pull-out drawer is open, it allows me to see my recovery gear and things like that that might be in here. Because if we're out on the trail early in the morning and we get stuck or something, if we pull out my pull-out drawer, we'll be able to see all my recovery gear and stuff once the drawer is open. So having that thing back working is pretty awesome. And if you guys haven't seen, I have some other lights on all four corners of the vehicle that were installed here at Ray Outfitted back in 2019. I call those my panic switch. So if someone knocks on my van, let me turn on this light. If someone knocks on my van, I push this and all four corners of my lights turn on, including the ones that are directly beside that window. That means if someone ever comes to knock on my van in the middle of the night, Mr. Cruisy Bear will be the first one Are you gonna attack people? I probably doubt it. But it kicks on my perimeter lights. That one switch I have access to from the inside. Now all 4 corners of my van, look at that light up. Light all this, that's insane. The amount of area that gets lit up because of the light. Look at all this. Hold on, we're gonna prop you guys up here. Oh, I'm excited about this. Are you serious? Wow, you can feel the air coming in off this window. Like in a major way, just pouring in the window. Oh, is this gonna make a huge difference? Wow. And I know we're coming down onto the tail end of summertime, but doing that roof vent is something I should have done before I even started my season this year of traveling and driving around, because having that exchange of air is an incredibly beautiful thing when it's super hot inside the van. And because my van is insulated, once it gets hot in here, the heat wants to stay in here. You know, it does take a long time for the heat to radiate from the outside into the inside, but once it does, it holds the heat. So when the temperature drops down at night outside, the inside is still maintaining a hotter temperature than outside. So having a roof vent or any kind of a ventilation system like that that pulls air either out or in forcefully, like the roof vent, it allows you to exchange the air inside of the van here, so I can move this hot air out and bring in some of the cooler temperature from outside in, or vice versa. I should have did this earlier, and I'm really glad that I did it. Popping in a roof vent, as you guys can see, is fairly simple to replace one. Obviously, installing it, you need to cut out the actual hole in your roof, but it was really cool today for me to know that you didn't have to cut the seal out on your old roof vent, pull the old whole system out, that all you really had to do is just undo those 4 screws, pop out the fan itself, drop the new one in the fan base that was stuck to my roof 4 years ago, that's still up there and has never once leaked in 4 years. Was downright awesome. I want to thank the crew at Ray Outfitted for all the work you guys did today and for giving my roof rack system the love that it deserves. I feel good now that that thing is anchored to my roof. Now, hopefully when we're out in the backcountry, that simple little 1 bolt fix that keeps everything pushed together is going to be the ultimate solve, and peace of mind. You can't put a dollar value on it, because when I'm out there, every time I hit a series of bumps, I'm always thinking about that roof rack system and, oh no, is it going to fall off my van today? Or, oh no, am I going to damage something else today because it popped off? So having a little bit of extra, makes me feel a ton better. And I can't believe that my upper upper light bar was just a fuse. Like, seriously, how'd that fuse pop out? Like, seriously, how'd it pop out? And why didn't I think about looking at the fuse? I installed that stuff. I did. Well, I didn't install it. I rewired everything when I changed up some of my lighting in here. And I can't believe I didn't really even think. I was the one that put that fuse panel in. Anyway, guys, I do have another few projects that I'm going to do while I'm out here at Ray Outfitted, so that'll get done in the next few videos or so. I'm getting them to look at my electrical system, and we may be adding some more ability to charge my van faster by adding some higher amperage DC to DC charging.
We'll talk about that in a future video, but as of right now, guys, thanks for watching today's video. Thank you for being here, and let me know what you guys think about some of these videos here. It's been a long time since I've done van upgrades in here. I used to do videos like this on my channel all the time. When I was building this thing out, it was constant changes. And I know you guys haven't seen me do any great big changes to this van over the last year and some. So let me know what you guys think of this video, you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see all of you in a video very, very soon.